Republican Party may not have figured out exactly how to finesse their connection to the Tea Party movement, particularly since it is such a powerfully polarizing force. But in our third story, Democrats are more than willing to make the obvious link. They are equating the GOP to the Tea Party with all that implies. Today, DNC Chairman Tim Kaine and several Democratic House members unveiled this piece of their midterm strategy. The point is to demonstrate the dangers of a Republican Party back in power. Kaine saying, quote, "These are all positions that have been taken by Republican leaders, multiple Republican leaders, their leading candidates, the Tea Party faithful, which Republicans have bent over to attract. And with Republicans reluctant to commit to another 1994-style contract with America, Democrats are ready to fill in the blanks for them. But they are calling it the Republican Tea Party contract on America. This web ad is just the beginning." The Republican National Committee, of course, dismissed the DNC strategy, saying that Democrats were clearly out of touch with voters' frustrations. Let's bring in Congressman Elijah Cummings of Maryland's 7th District. He is also a member of the Congressional Black Caucus and the House Progressive Caucus. Thanks for your time tonight, Congressman. You were one of the lawmakers at this rollout event today.
Yes.
Is this an honest strategy?
It is not.
Well, let me just make this point, though, that most Republican members of Congress have refused. They've specifically refused to join Michelle Bachmann's Tea Party caucus. So how can you fairly link all Republicans to the Tea Party?
Well, the fact is that 136 people who are running for the Congress have associated themselves with that caucus. And the fact is that when you look at the policies that the Republicans have espoused in the past, they link very closely with what the Tea Party is all about. Keep in mind, the Republicans and the Tea Parties are talking about taking us back. Social Security, for example, turning it over to Wall Street, repealing what we have done with regard to health care so that people who have pre-existing conditions will not be able to get insurance. And I could go on. And even the Wall Street reform, Lawrence, I mean, keep in mind, Americans have lost $17 trillion, not billion, not million, $1 trillion in retirement savings and 6.6 foreclosures. 8 million people have lost their jobs, and yet and still, when it comes to reform of the system that has basically done so much harm to our economic system here in our country, the Republicans are saying we want to go backwards. And so, I mean, come on. The fact is that they've bent over backwards trying to appeal more and more to the far right. And that's just not where America is, and is a shame. It really is.
Can you really make a national campaign strategy work in congressional elections? The most famous line ever said about life in Congress is that all politics is local, said by Tip O'Neill when he was Speaker. With that in mind, aren't you really running individual races in each one of these districts? And any Republican who needs to disown the Tea Party can, and any Republican who needs to embrace the Tea Party in a really conservative district can. How do you counter that with a national strategy?
Well, it's very simple. When you look at votes, for example, in the Recovery Act and the votes for health care, we didn't get any Republican votes. I mean, you've got people, say, for example, in South Carolina, where you've got 20% of the people without health insurance, and you've got folks, Republicans, voting against health insurance for their very people so they can stay alive. Come on now. And then you've got situations, as I said, where you got an economic situation where people have basically lost everything they have. So basically, all someone has got to do is look at the votes and say, okay, why are you saying no to everything? Why are you blocking everything? And why are you joining with the Tea Partiers to stand in the way of this president who has actually done a lot to lift Americans up? And so all we get is spitballs from the sidelines, complaints from the sidelines, and I think basically what the Republicans are doing is what I call rope-a-doping. They're just hoping that they're worried about scoring political points. We're about making life better for the American people.
How long do we have to wait for your health care commercial, Congressman? That last year when you were trying to pass health care, all the Democrats were saying, we're going to run on this and win. When we passed this bill back in February and March, when you were trying to squeeze out those final votes, the chant was, you know, we're going to win on this. In November, the party seems to be silent about it now.
No, we're not silent about it. We've done so many things to help the American people. And Lawrence, if you'll recall, you were the one, and I'll never forget it as long as I live, who told me we'd never get it done. You said that on camera.
I didn't say you'd never get it. I said I said, Congressman, I said I didn't know how, which is a different thing. It was a modest statement on my part.
But I have never forgot it, and we got it done. I think basically the American people. I respect the American people. They'll see through this, and we will do fine in the election. I know all the pundits are saying we're not going to do well. We will have the House come next session, and so I think the American people will see through this. They see that the Democratic Party is trying to take us forward, and the Republican Party is either staying silent and basically wants to take us backwards. We cannot have that.
Congressman Elijah Cummings, who always knew passing health care was going to be easy, and he was right. Thanks for joining us tonight, Congressman.
Good being with you.